No niin, sitten jatketaan taas tätä. Mä varmistan vielä, että mä oon jo oikeassa paikassa. On se luodi oikeassa paikassa. Paljon pitäisi kuulustella porukkaa ainakin. Tää oli mun oma hytti. Eipä kun tää oli tämä hytti. Täällä meillä ei ollut enää mitään.
Good morning, madam. I am Hercule Poirot.
Caroline Hubbard. What can I do for you, Mr. Poirot?
I am the bearer of unfortunate news.
It's obvious with all the commotion that something has happened.
Madame Hubbard, I am afraid your neighbor, Monsieur Ratchet, was murdered last night.
Oh my God! I knew it! I knew it!
I would like to ask you some questions, but first, may I inspect your room?
Of course, yes, you must.
Tässä tää peliaika sit meneekin, jos mä tutkin kaikkia huoneita ja kuulustelen. Kato. Heti oikein.
Cells did not let me down.
Here is a jacket button. It bears the logo of the Orient Express. The luxury of the Orient Express is present in every detail.
Siellä ei vissiin mitään ollut. Kyllä se ainakin vaaleiksi jää vielä, toi me palataan kyllä tohon vielä.
This door connects to Monsieur Ratchet's compartment. It was latched on this side.
Kato, jes, löytyi heti.
You can never have too many of these.
Yksi puuttus vielä tästä chapterista. Tää mua kyllä nyt hämää. Ei tässä ainakaan mitään pysty tekemään. Antaa olla.
Madame, please tell me about last night.
The murderer was right here in my compartment. I woke up. All in the dark it was. I was just so scared I couldn't scream. I pressed the call button. I pressed and pressed. I heard footsteps running in the corridor, then a knock on my door. "Come in," I screamed. And I switched on the lights at the same time. And would you believe it? There wasn't a soul there.
You think he went back into the other compartment?
How do I know where he went? I had my eyes shut tight. The conductor came in. I told the man what had happened, and he didn't seem to believe me. I asked him to search the room, but he found nothing. I told the conductor to look at the door between the compartments, and sure enough, it wasn't bolted. Well, I soon saw to that. I told him to bolt it, then and there.
How is it you didn't bolt the door between the two compartments?
But I had. Well, as a matter of fact, I asked that Swedish lady, Olsen, Greta, if it was bolted, and she said it was.
How was it you could not see for yourself?
I was already in bed, and my toiletry bag was hanging on the hook of the door. I couldn't see the latch from where I was.
What time was it when you asked her to do this for you?
Oh, it must have been around 10:30 or 10:45 p.m. She'd come along to see if I had an aspirin. But instead of opening my door, she opened Mr. Ratchet's door by mistake. He said something quite rude, like, "Not a chance, lady, you're too old." It shocked her. She came in. I told her where to find the aspirin, and she got it out of my toiletry bag. Poor girl, she didn't have a good night.
The same could be said for Monsieur Ratchet.
It appears Mademoiselle Olsen may be the last person to see Ratchet alive.
Search Room 204 ei ollut vissiin vielä tehty.
Is this your handkerchief?
No, not at all.
Yet it is embroidered with an initial H, like your name.
I don't care. It's not mine, and I would certainly never buy something so impractical as that frilly thing.
Are you a smoker?
No, definitely not. Filthy habit.
I found a jacket button on your table. It looks like it belongs to a train employee. The button bears the logo of the Orient Express.
Well, of course the conductor came in last night, but he didn't go near that table.
Still, it's a safe bet that it belongs to the conductor. I'll check his jacket later, to be sure. I have not finished inspecting your room. If you don't mind,
This door connects to Monsieur Ratchet's compartment. It was latched on this side. Let's see if Mrs. Hubbard was telling the truth about the latch of the connecting door.
Hetkinen.
This hook is probably where Mrs. Hubbard hung her toiletry bag.
Okei, sitä on turhaa sit saanut auki.
I can see the latch very well from here, even with the toiletry bag attached. I'll have to clear that up with Mrs. Hubbard.
Mrs. Hubbard, you told me that the door connecting the two compartments was closed, correct?
Yes, it was, as I told you. I was already in bed and my toiletry bag was hanging on the hook of the door. I couldn't see the latch from where I was. That's why I asked Miss Olsen to check if it was closed.
Se on todennäköisesti toi. Tai siis toi oikeastaan.
Are you sure everything you've told me is accurate, Madame Hubbard?
Of course. I have an excellent memory.
Mrs. Hubbard, I tested putting your toiletry bag on the door hook as you told me. From your bed, you can easily see the latch on the door. The toiletry bag does not hide the latch at all.
Are you saying I'm lying? It may have been stuck somehow in a different position, or I may not have seen it in the darkness. Or I didn't think to look, you irritating man.
Details matter, madame. A man has been most savagely murdered. You will excuse me if I attempt to separate the truth from the false.
Forget my toiletry bag and focus on who entered my compartment. Probably after killing Mr. Ratchet.
Madame Hubbard is a force to be reckoned with, but I suspect I'm not done with her.
Okei,
Thank
tää
you for
huone on
your
valmis.
assistance, madame.
Kiitos ja hei. Okei, täällä ei oo ketään.
Monsieur Michel, I must ask you a few questions if you don't mind.
I will do everything I can to help.
First of all, tell me about yourself.
Very well. My name, as you know, is Pierre Michel. I am from Calais. I've been with the company for over 15 years.
Thank you.
Think, Poirot. That is not a good answer. That was easy.
Can you provide me with a listing of the passengers and their rooms, please?
Yes, certainly.
Siinä se on.
Are you a smoker?
Indeed.
Do you smoke e-cigarettes?
No, tobacco only.
I would like to reconstruct with your help the events of last night. Monsieur Ratchet retired to bed. When?
Almost immediately after dinner, sir. Actually, before we left Belgrade.
Did anybody go into his compartment after that?
His valet, monsieur. Monsieur Masterman. And then his secretary, the young American gentleman. Monsieur McQueen.
And that is the last time you saw or heard of him?
No, monsieur. You forget that Monsieur Ratchet rang his bell around 12:40 a.m., soon after we had stopped. I knocked at the door, but he called out in French, "Ce n'est rien, je me suis trompé." I then left to answer another bell that had just rung.
Where were you at 1:15 a.m.?
I was sitting on my little seat at the end of the car, facing up the corridor.
Are you sure?
I left a little after 1 a.m. to speak about the snow with my colleague Jean in the bar car. I came back later. There was a call. I remember speaking to you.
Indeed, I remember. Carry on.
It was the American lady, Madame Hubbard. She thought she saw a man in her compartment. Then, around 1:50 a.m., I made the bed for Monsieur Ratchet's secretary, Monsieur McQueen. He had spent the evening talking with the English Captain Arbuthnot. At 2 a.m., I returned to my place and stayed there until dawn.
What is the last station where we stopped?
Winkowski.
Could someone have come on board?
Possibly. I was very busy. Owing to the weather, we were a few minutes late. We left at 12:10 a.m.
I found a button from an Orient Express staff jacket. Did you lose one by any chance?
No, monsieur. As you can see, I have all my buttons. It is not mine.
Activity, onko se joku, mikä mun pitää tehdä? On selkeästikin. Mä voisin vähän paremmin lukea ja kuunnella noin, mitä noin sanoo. Tää olisi vähän helpompaa. Täytyy tässä nyt jotain kokeilla. Ei se varmaan tohon mennyt.
No, not good. This is wrong, but I'm never far from the truth. I must admit I'm not right this time. This is wrong, but I'm never far from the truth.
Otetaan ne vielä pois. No. Oisko tällä?
I do not
Ei.
think that's the right answer.
Vihjeitä ei voi käyttää, siinä menettää yhden trofi, sen verran mä kattelen. Voiko olisi vähän kuunnella äskeistä keskustelua? Voisiko ne olettaa, että ne olisi peräkkäin? Yes.
That's the right answer. Think, Poirot. That is not a good answer. No, not good. I do not think that's the right answer.
Mulla kyllä mitään hajua tästäkään.
Think, Poirot. That is not a good answer. This is wrong, but I'm never far from the truth. I must admit I'm not right this time. I do not think that's the right answer. No, not good.
Luulisin, että toi olisi ja...
Think, Poirot. That is not a good answer.
Mut mikä se toinen on? Ai se oli tuo kello itse.
While Monsieur Michel was chatting with Monsieur Fauchet in the bar car between 1 a.m. and 2 a.m., the murderer could have escaped Ratchet's room without being seen. My little grey cells did not let me down.
Täältä ei nyt varmaan niitä viiksiä löydy enää. Mä menen tähän suuntaan niin pitkään kuin mä pääsen. Yhdet viikset olisi kiva löytää. Ollaanko vielä? Joo, ollaan samassa chapterissa. Kai sekin jonkun huoneesta sit löytyy. Nää mä oon niinku tutkinut jo, mutta mä en tiedä, voiko se ilmestyä vasta jonkun keskustelun jälkeenkin periaatteessa. Tuolla on näköjään turha jutella. Se on kyllä hyvä, että se kertoo harmaalla sen.
I hope you are progressing in your investigation.
I have not finished yet, but it is progressing, yes. I still have many questions that must be answered. I will report to you as soon as I can.
Se ei kyllä muuttunut harmaaksi.
A beautiful piano, what a luxury. Pity there's no one to play it.
Tuolla on turha jutella. Tääkin ollaan jo pari kertaa katsottu. Täällä on hiljasta. Täältähän me löydettiin se yksi viiksi. Joo, pidemmälle ei päästäkään sit. Oisko ne viikset sit jonkun huoneessa? Varmistetaan, ei täällä ole kyllä mitään enää. Tän voi kyllä tulla. Ei me täällä kyllä mitään tehty. Ei. Kato nopeasti vielä. Joo, sitten mennään eteenpäin. Vois olettaa, että ne viikset jonkun huoneesta sit löytys ehkä. Ja tonne ei pääsekään.
Monsieur Edward Masterman, I believe. May I ask you some questions?
I can barely talk. I have a terrible toothache.
We have a doctor on board the train. Perhaps...
I do not need a doctor. I use essential oils. If you can find my flask of clove oil in my box, I would be grateful.
Busle tulee
If you
taas.
insist, I will help you.
Tässä on kyllä ihan hienoja
By the
pusleja.
smell, I think that the jojoba oil spilled on the other bottles, leaving their labels illegible. I must find another way to find which one is Masterman's toothache remedy. The weighing scale is soaked in jojoba oil. It's unusable. Ah, this old scale will do the job. To start, I must first arrange the vials from the lightest to the heaviest.
Siis pitäisikö mun nähdä mitä näissä lukee? Mitä tässäkin lukee? Hetkinen. Almond ehkä lukee tässä. Siis mä voi mistään zoomata. Eikö mun pitää tällainen selvittää?
Now that I know
No
the
ne.
order, I think that I can easily guess which one is the clove oil.
Se on vissiin toi.
Here is Monsieur Masterman's remedy.
Here is your remedy. I hope it will help.
Thank you very much, sir. Ah, well, I can finally speak without too much pain. I'm ready to answer your questions.
You are Monsieur Ratchet's valet?
Yes, sir, that is correct.
Were you told that your employer was murdered?
Yes, sir. A very shocking occurrence.
Olisiko tää sveitsiläinen?
This is wrong. But I... No.
Kauheasti tähän
Not
tarvitaan
good.
kanadalaisiksi. Ei se vieläkään osu.
My little grey cells did not let me down.
At what hour did you last see Monsieur Ratchet?
It must have been around 9 p.m., sir. That or a little after. I went to bed around 10:30 p.m., same as the person who shares my room, Mr. Foscarelli. He almost immediately began snoring.
What did you do then?
I read, sir, and I spent a while soothing my toothache with clove oil and listening to the snoring.
Did you hear anything during the night?
Yes, my roommate's snoring.
Are you a smoker?
Yes, sir. I have a cigarette now and then to relax.
Tell me about your employer, Monsieur Ratchet.
I've been working for him for 9 months. I should not wish to speak ill of the dead, but he was not a gentleman, sir.
Did you know that he had enemies?
Yes, sir. I heard him discussing some threatening letters, sir, with Mr. McQueen.
Did he mention these letters to you?
He had been reading a letter when I came in. He asked me if I was the one who put it in his compartment. I told him that I had done no such thing, and he should report it to the police at the next station.
How did he respond?
He laughed, sir.
You're joking.
I do not joke, sir.
Forgive me, I can see you do not. Was he taking sleeping pills?
Always when traveling by train, sir. He said he couldn't sleep otherwise. Last night he asked me to give him 2. I did so, along with a glass of water. He dissolved them in the water.
Did you see him drink the water?
No, sir. I left right after I gave him the pills.
Was Monsieur Ratchet a smoker?
No. He finds smokers disgusting.
Can you tell me again why you gave sleeping pills to Monsieur Ratchet?
Yes, I gave him the pills because when he takes the train, he has trouble sleeping. The letter must have worried him. He specifically asked me to prepare the sleeping pills. I didn't see him drink the water with the pills in it.
He is lying, and I will prove it.
Monsieur, I believe you are not telling me the truth.
What? How can you say that?
He received threatening letters. One, it seems, last night. Did you know he had a gun under his pillow? And even asked for my help to watch over him? I find it strange that he asked you for sleeping pills when he was afraid for his life and prepared to defend himself.
I'm sure I don't know. Maybe to calm his nerves, maybe out of habit.
It makes no sense.
Wait, please. Isn't it possible that Mr. Ratchet asked me to prepare the pills, but didn't plan to drink them for some reason?
It is possible. But I am a student of character, monsieur, and the Monsieur Ratchet you describe is not the man I met.
If you'll excuse me, my toothache is getting worse again.
I'm afraid this time you must prepare your own clove oil.
Tutkitaanko tää huone? Ei täällä oo mitään. Mä haluan löytää ne viikset. Seuraava
I
potilas.
believe I am addressing Monsieur Hector McQueen.
Guilty as charged.
I beg your pardon.
Oh, sorry. Just an expression. My father used to say it.
You must have had an interesting childhood. I am Hercule Poirot.
No need to be modest. You're a detective.
You are Monsieur Ratchet's secretary?
I am Mr. Ratchet's secretary. Just over a year. I mainly take care of translating certain texts for him. Mr. Ratchet only speaks English.
Prepare yourself for a shock. Your employer, Monsieur Ratchet, is dead.
So they got him after all.
What do you mean? You are assuming he was murdered?
I know he had enemies.
What can you tell me about Monsieur Ratchet?
He was American. He was an antiques dealer. I don't know much more. Mr. Ratchet never talked about himself or his life. But I think Ratchet wasn't his real name. And he left the United States to run away from something. Or someone.
Yes?
He started getting letters. Threatening letters.
Do you still have them?
I have one.
Did you know that Monsieur Ratchet had asked for my help?
Asked you? No, I didn't know.
He knew he was in danger. When did you last see him?
Last night around 10 o'clock, I should say.
Did you like your employer, Monsieur McQueen?
No, I did not. He was, I'm sure, a cruel and dangerous man.
Can you tell me your movements last night?
I went back to my compartment. I read a little. In Belgrade, I went out onto the platform to smoke, but it was cold. I quickly went back in. I then went to Mr. Ratchet's compartment to take some dictation for him. I left around 10 o'clock. I saw Captain Arbuthnot. We ended up chatting in my compartment. Then we went out on the platform to quickly stretch our legs at Vinkovsky. He left around 2 o'clock.
Thank you.
Toivottavasti mä
I
taas
need to check
päätelty.
Monsieur McQueen's story with Captain Arbuthnot.
I found a diary in Monsieur Ratchet's safe. Did you know about it?
I kept a business appointment book, but I know he had a personal diary as well. That looks like it.
Are you a smoker?
Yes, I smoke cigarettes. I've tried to quit, but no luck.
Can you give me this letter, please?
Of course, here it is.
Was Monsieur Ratchet a smoker?
No, he hated the smell of smoke.
Kaikki tehty. Ei, vielä ei tapaa.
I do not think that's the right answer. Think, Poirot. That is not a good answer. I must admit I'm not right this time. I do not think that's the right answer.
Just.
This is wrong, but I'm never far from the truth.
Tässä on kaksi vaihtoehtoa, niin mä saisin sen ehkä oikein.
The murderer may have impersonated Ratchet by calling Monsieur Michel to make it seem that Ratchet was still alive at 12:37 a.m. That's the right answer. Et voilà.
No ei jos vissiin pakko vastata.
This direction looks promising. This appears to be a good lead. This is the most likely answer. Very well, I choose to go this way.
Nyt täytyisi löytää ne viikset. Oisko ne täällä? Siellä ne on, jes. Hyvä.
Come to Poirot,
Koska nyt ihan varmasti vaihtuu
easily sculpted friend.
Chapteri. Ei tässä enää huonot ollut. On tässä yksi. Joo, mennään nyt sen bugin luo.
So, my friend, have you found our killer?
Not yet, but I will tell you what I have learned.
Please.
Our assassin could have gotten on the train at Vinkovsky disguised as a conductor, entered Ratchet's room and killed him. Then he walked out through Madame Hubbard's connecting door, where he lost a button from his jacket. He had to wait for Monsieur Michel to be absent. He waited Too long. The train had left the station.
He was trapped aboard.
Indeed. He had opened the window to make it look that he'd escaped that way. However, if he waited until the train stopped again due to snow, his footprints would have been found.
The murderer is still among us. On the train.
There's a problem with the second-class toilets.
What now?
All morning passengers have been complaining that the door is locked, so I went to check. I knocked, but no one answered. I didn't think I should open it without speaking to you first.
You did well, Monsieur Michel. Lead the way.
I use my master key.
But who is she? Is she alive?
She is breathing.
Then if she isn't dead, isn't she our murderer?
That, my friend, is what we must find out.
The ticket reads Joanna Locke, traveling in compartment 105.
Miss, can you hear me? She's breathing. Her pulse is strong. There is no sign of physical violence. This woman is sleeping very soundly. This woman is sound asleep. Given her location, I would say she has been drugged and deposited here.
Well, at least it's not another murder on my train.
The train is, of course, full.
Monsieur, the list I gave you indicates that Hildegard Schmidt shares her compartment.
I will want to talk to her later. For now, we will concentrate on this mysterious young lady. Let's return her to her more comfortable bed.
Good idea. Pierre, locate this woman's room and fetch the doctor.
Yes, sir.
I will question her when she wakes up.
Please, let me know what you learn.
Mademoiselle Locke's compartment is 105. I suggest we return her to her more comfortable bed.
Yes, hopefully she will awaken soon.
Kurkataan yhtäkkiä, että ollaanko me... Ei ole vielä uudessa chapterissa. Sä oot siinä ovimestarin. Ei päästä karkuun.
A cup of tea with white residue at the bottom.
Siis eikö täällä ole mitään vai? Hetkinen. Tuolla jotain. No niin, sitä meidän on turha tässä kohtaa varmaan arvailla. Avataan toi eka. Puuttuuko nappi?
A briefcase and a wagon lee conductor's jacket. And the
Jaa,
button
puuttu
is
siitä.
missing.
Eikö täällä ole mitään muuta? What?
If you need a break, I can ask Jean to make you some coffee. Poirot, what if the briefcase is booby-trapped? So, Poirot, any luck so far? We really need to find the combination. But of course you know what you're doing. It is booby-trapped, is it? No, that's mine. I never remember my passwords, so I make them easy ones. Poirot, I'm disappointed in you. I was certain you would have it by now. Have you tried 0000? Have you tried 1, 2, 3, 4? Have you tried 0000? Poirot, what if the briefcase is booby-trapped? So, Poirot, any luck so far? Have you tried 1, 2,
Siis
3,
puhuuko toi nyt koko
4?
ajan?
But of course
Enhän
you
mä
know what
tota-
you're doing. It is booby-trapped, is it?
Book. Silent like a mouse, please.
I'm sorry. You're right. I'll be quiet now. You need to concentrate. I will not utter another word. Not one.
Book. There will be another murder on the Orient Express in a moment.
No ota nyt se salkku. Noniin. Tää on joku agentti.
This badge says that Joanna Locke is an American detective with the Berkshire Police Department in Massachusetts.
An American police officer? Oh.
Mademoiselle Locke seems very interested in our victim.
Of course. She has studied her target.
Possibly.
Eihän tääkään nyt mikään syyllinen ole.
The stuffed animal is the same as in the photo found at the crime scene.
What a coincidence.
Mademoiselle Locke appears to have been investigating Monsieur Ratchet.
Her driver's license confirms her identity. She is American.
These are fake IDs. It's certain.
Her driver's license confirms her identity. She is American.
These are fake IDs. It's certain.
She has a gun.
Come, Poirot. Criminals are often known to carry one.
Ratchet was stabbed, not shot.
But then why take it on the train?
Look, she's waking up.
Thanks to you, I would not be surprised if our murder victim were also waking up.
What?
Oh, my head. What's all the yelling about?
Who are you? Give me a good reason why you should not be in handcuffs.
I can give you a reason, Book. Whose handcuffs will we use? I have none. Do you?
Well,
You are Joanna Locke, mademoiselle?
Yes, Joanna Locke. I'm a detective. Berkshire, Massachusetts police.
I have found your credentials, mademoiselle.
And I know who you are, Mr. Poirot.
Then, if the introductions are complete, perhaps the explanations may begin.
I'll try. It's simple, really. I'm on the trail of a murderer.
Tuli trofi, niin varmaan päästiin chapteri läpi.
I had just been promoted to detective after 5 years on patrol. It was my first time on a major case. It had been a month since Daisy Armstrong was kidnapped. The Armstrongs were desperate for some sign of hope. I was there only for paperwork, to fill in some blanks.
What?
A topographical map, often more important than a road map in these mountains. A topographical map. The investigation is now part of a pile of investigations, and my captain sent me here just to dot some I's and cross some T's. The crime was audacious. How could the kidnapper know which was the window of Daisy's room? No, they could use a ladder to reach it, and no, they could enter the room without being seen. The misspellings are clearly on purpose, and they didn't return the child when the ransom was paid. How could the child be taken with so many people in the house? How could the child be taken with so... I can't imagine the pain her parents felt when they realized Daisy was gone. How are they going to feel when they realize I have no answers for them? Only more questions. That's why I'm here. A damn computer glitch. Or somebody pushed delete instead of save. Whatever happened, we lost the nanny's deposition. So my entire contribution to the investigation is to take it again. The phone record of the night of the kidnapping. The last call was for 911.
Oikeesti, me ohjataan tästä jotain eri hahmoakin. Nyt mä voin kuvitella, että viiksi etsiminen, se on haastavampaa. Jos tän pääsee ihan mihin vaan, onneksi ei pääse. Nurmikolla ei kävellä. Täältähän me löydetään muuten viikset jostain.
Good evening. Colonel Armstrong?
Yes. You're the detective they phoned about.
Joanna Locke.
I don't remember you.
I'm newly assigned to the case.
It's about time more detectives were involved. My wife, Sonia, she hasn't been herself. Every day is a waking nightmare for us. Tell me you've uncovered something new.
I'm here to speak to your daughter's nanny. There was a computer problem. Her earlier statement has been lost.
Oh, I see. We had hoped. Well, do as you wish. I won't be far if you need me.
No ei varmaan, että onko täältä mahdollista löytää viiksiä. Ei koske tohonkaan ihan vielä. Viikset on kuitenkin vähän niinku Poirotin juttu. Niin tutkimallahan se selviää. No siellä on heti yhdet.
Shiny facial hair.
Hyvä.
The good news is that it's gold.
Tää saattaa olla kyllä jossain vielä toisekin.
Sympathy and support for the Armstrong family during this difficult time. Thoughtful, but never enough. What a dear child.
Katsotaan tuosta alhaalta kuitenkin ensiksi.
Their fairy tale became a nightmare.
How are you doing? Are you holding up?
You know, in the military, you're supposed to have the stiffest of upper lips. The Desert War taught me that soon enough. But this, it's difficult. Damned difficult. Harder on my good lady, of course.
Do you know where I can find Miss Moreau?
Her room is upstairs across the hall from Daisy's. She seldom leaves it.
I won't be long.
Take whatever time you need.
Yläkerrasta löytyy ne toiset viikset.
A toy train. Now here I am on a real one. Lyon, in France. What a lovely looking city.
Hello, are you Suzanne Moreau, Daisy's nanny?
Yes?
I'm Joanna Locke, a detective working on Daisy's case.
Is there any news?
I'm afraid not.
How can I help you?
I'm really sorry. I'm afraid I have to take your statement again concerning the evening of Daisy's disappearance. There was a computer problem. Your statement was accidentally deleted.
Of course. I want to help any way I can.
Tell me about that night in your own words.
The Armstrongs had a party to raise money for a museum, I think. Mrs. Armstrong is on their board. I was in charge of Daisy. I stayed with the little one all evening, playing with her and reading books to her. She couldn't sleep with all the noise and the comings and goings.
When did you notice Daisy was missing?
I was only gone 5 minutes to phone my mother. She's in the hospital. When I returned, Daisy wasn't in her bed. I thought she might have gone to look at the party, but then I saw the ransom note on her pillow. I screamed and screamed. I couldn't stop.
Did you notice anything unusual before that?
I was with Daisy all evening. Finally, she fell asleep. I didn't see anyone else or notice anything in particular.
Do you have any idea who did this?
No! I can't see who could have done such a horrible thing. The Armstrongs are such good people. Like my own family.
Thank you for giving me your statement again. I'll get back to you if I have any questions.
I won't be far.
Okay, I have Suzanne's statement, but her answers need some checking. This information does not correspond to what Suzanne told me. Suzanne said she left Daisy alone for 5 minutes, but Mrs. Armstrong says she stayed with Daisy for a while and Suzanne did not return. That is a great detective job. A toy castle. When I was a kid, I had a police station and a tiny squad car with a siren that really worked. The world through the eyes of a child seems so sweet.
Mrs. Armstrong, my name is Joanna Locke. I'm a detective investigating the kidnapping of your daughter. May I talk to you? When is your baby due? Mrs. Armstrong? Sonia?
I don't want to talk. I just want to see my daughter again. That's all that matters.
The poor woman. I can't imagine how she... Everything looks okay here. Nothing shocks me here. Everything looks okay here. Nothing shocks me here. Everything looks okay here. Nothing shocks me here. Score. 1 for the good guys.
Mrs. Armstrong? Let me show you this.
Daisy, my little Daisy. I miss her so much. How good it is to see her face.
I can't imagine the pain you're feeling right now.
She loved her little stuffed animal, Fluffy. She took him everywhere with her. The kidnappers took it as well. They didn't have to. That means they wouldn't hurt her, doesn't it?
Every lead will be followed up. You have my word on that.
Thank you. I shouldn't lose hope. Somehow.
I know it isn't my case, but I just made a promise. And I mean to keep it.
Do you know where I can find Miss Moreau?
She's in her room. Last door on the left.
Tell me about the night Daisy was taken, especially anything about your daughter and Suzanne Moreau.
Apart from seeing to our guests, I took a moment to check on Suzanne and Daisy in Daisy's room. Suzanne wasn't there, but Daisy was asleep. I sat with her for 10 minutes or so. Suzanne didn't return while I was there, but there's no reason for her to sit there all night when Daisy is asleep. I went back downstairs.
May I come back if I have more questions?
Of course. Anything I can do.
Okay, the stories Sonia and Suzanne tell don't match. I should recheck my file and track Suzanne's movement. Everything looks okay here. Nothing shocks me here. Everything looks okay here. That is not exactly what Suzanne told me earlier. Suzanne was on the phone more than 5 minutes. That is a great detective job.
Ja niin täällä oli muuten se yksi huonekin vielä katsomatta. Ja ei siinä pääsekään. Ei tää niitä viiksiä sit ollu. Olipa siinä.
Toy castle. When I was a kid, I had... Not really my style, but
No
I'll
niin.
take it.
2/4 löydetty. Ei täällä olisi yhtään.
If I understand you correctly, you left Daisy when she was not asleep?
The party was very loud. Daisy was too wound up to sleep. I read her a Motley Mule detective story to try and put her to sleep. Daisy finally fell asleep. Right before Motley Mule solved his case in the book I was reading her. I had to make a quick phone call. No more than 5 minutes. But when I came back, Daisy was gone.
Are you sure you were only gone for 5 minutes?
5, 6, what does it matter? It was very quick.
You say you were only away 5 or 6 minutes, but Mrs. Armstrong says she was alone there more like 10 minutes. And the phone record shows that you stayed on the call for more than 30 minutes, way longer than you said.
My mother is extremely ill. It's difficult for me. I may have lost track of time. When I came back, Daisy had disappeared. It must have been a coincidence.
You have to be precise, Suzanne. A little girl's life is at stake.
Why are you doing this? I didn't do anything wrong. I would never hurt Daisy.
I need to check Suzanne's story. She's panicking. Why now? What is she afraid of? Hey, I'm a pretty good detective after all. The kidnapper places a ladder under the window to Daisy's room, Then he joins the party. Just one guest in the crowd. He somehow knows when Suzanne leaves the room, then sneaks upstairs. He opens Daisy's window, carries her down the ladder, and vanishes.
Voisi kuvitella, että tää on se yksi chapteri. En mä nyt kyllä kahta viiksi juttua missään.
I spoke with Suzanne. She was phoning her mother. That's why you didn't see her when you went to check on Daisy.
Yes, her mother. I tried to call the poor woman earlier that week, but the hospital said she's been in a medically induced coma for more than 2 months.
Suzanne told me she called her mother, but she would have known her mother was in a coma.
Voinko mä nyt tehdä? Noniin.
The detective gets it right.
The number you have called is not in service at this time. Please hang up and dial again, or contact your service provider.
The number Suzanne called is not in service? A hospital? I should see if the Armstrongs can confirm what Suzanne told me.
Tuossakin olisi voinut viikset, jos ei olla, mutta ei ollut.
Did you see Miss Moreau during the party?
I remember seeing her at some point, but otherwise no. I was too busy with my guests. Wear the smile, shake the proffered hand.
Ms. Moreau told me she called her mother.
Well, why not? I believe they are very close, and the poor woman is not well. She needs some experimental treatment that isn't available yet in France.
I won't be long.
Take whatever time you need.
The number you called that night is no longer in service.
I don't understand. That's
Alkaa
the
silmukka
number the
kiristyy
hospital
tälläkin.
gave me to call my mother's room.
You told me you were on the phone with your mother when Daisy was abducted.
As we said earlier, I didn't pay attention and was on the phone longer than I said. But since my mother is very ill, she had to leave her hometown, Lyon, because the treatment is not approved yet in France. She is in an hospital in Boston for a special treatment. I call her every night to check on her. When I came back, Daisy was gone. I'll never forgive myself.
Are you sure you called your mother?
Yes. Every night since she was admitted in December.
Suzanne, I think you really care for Daisy. If you do, then tell me the truth. You can't have been calling your mother while she's in a coma.
My mom really is in a hospital in Boston. She really is in a coma. I wasn't calling her. I was on the phone with my boyfriend, Noah.
Why lie about it? Why are you panicking?
Because he's gone. I haven't heard from him since the night of the kidnapping. I'm afraid he's somehow connected to Daisy's disappearance. That he was just using me somehow. But I swear I talked to him. Yes, for more like 30 minutes that night. So he couldn't have kidnapped Daisy at the same time we were talking.
But he could have kept you talking so someone else could take Daisy.
Yes, you can see why I lied. Can't you? I was afraid you'd suspect me of having something to do with it. You can understand that, can't you?
Suzanne, I want to believe you, but you've made it harder to find Daisy. Do you realize that?
Oh my God. What have I done?
What's most important is not what you've done, but what you do now. Go. I'll be back to talk to you. No more lies, Suzanne. For Daisy, no more lies. Noah. The name might lead us to that little girl. I am on this case now, whether my captain wants me to be or not. A locked diary? Let's see if I can shine some light on its secrets. A locked diary? Let's see if I can shine some light on its secrets.
Sitten se avain.
A card from the florist. It's signed N. What's in the glass case? Oh, big surprise. Glasses.
I expect Suzanne must have gone through a lot of tissues these past weeks. I expect Small jewelry box. By the size, I'm guessing earrings.
Ja vai.
Why put a key in a jewelry box? An Eiffel Tower keychain, but no key. That doesn't work. 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 That doesn't work.
Hetkonen. Joo, tätäkin pystyy vielä kattoo, eli... Okei, täällä on ylhäällä vielä jotain. Tästä tää nyt sit vielä. Ei mitään.
An Eiffel Tower keychain, but no key. An Eiffel Tower keychain, but no key. A toy train. Now here I am on a real one.
Täytyykö mun mennä juttelemaan jollekin vielä vai? No miksi en mä saa tää auki?
That doesn't work. That doesn't work.
Okay.
Okay, Suzanne.
No niin.
Let's see what you haven't told me. I can see why Suzanne didn't tell me everything about this, Noah. It's clear when he disappeared that she realized something was very wrong.
Can you tell me anything about Suzanne's boyfriend?
I know she dated our chauffeur for a while. There was someone else she'd met recently, but I don't recall his name.
I imagine these flowers must have been beautiful. Who gave them to you?
The gardener. They're getting pretty wilted, but I hate to throw them away.
Tell me about your boyfriend. Have you been together long?
My boyfriend? Why? He doesn't have anything to do with this.
Please, Suzanne, the sooner you answer my question, the sooner we'll be done.
His name is Noah Garrity. I met him at a Lunar New Year party in Great Barrington. He is a kind and caring person, although, well, I miss him. He had to go away on business. He should be back.
Know anything about Miss Moreau's boyfriend?
Her boyfriend? I know she went out with someone for a while there. More recently, I saw a man in a 4x4 who would pick her up on her nights off. He never got out of his car, just waited for her. She did seem to spend more time than usual on the phone these past few weeks, but she worked hard. We weren't going to begrudge her what free time she had. Since the abduction, she keeps pretty much to herself.
I won't be long.
Take whatever time you need.
These tire tracks could well be from Suzanne's boyfriend's 4x4. Score. 1 for the good guys.
Tread marks of a 4-wheel drive vehicle were found outside the garden on the night of the kidnapping. Noah drives one, doesn't he? Where is he, Suzanne? If you know anything more about him, you have to tell me.
I know what you're thinking, but it's impossible. He was very nice to me. He never did anything to make me suspicious. We went out to eat, to the movies. Just like a normal couple. He's not the only man in the Berkshires who drives that kind of car.
I need evidence she's lying, not guesswork.
You really didn't notice anything strange about Noah until he vanished?
He could get moody at times. as if he had a lot on his mind.
In your diary, you say that Noah took you to a cabin in the mountains on Valentine's Day.
You read my diary?
I'm sorry, but we have to find Daisy. We both want that. So yes, I looked in your diary.
You're right. He took me to a cabin in the woods. I waited for him in the car. He came out after a few minutes. He was very sweet and apologetic, but he never explained. We went back to the restaurant for dessert.
Did you ever go back to the cabin with him?
No, never.
So what made Noah drive all the way to a cabin in the middle of nowhere? He left her in the car. Why was he there? This is important. I know it is. I can use Suzanne's directions to the cabin and compare them to the map of the area I have in my car.
Laitaanko mennyt kartta heti? Ehkä. Mennään hakemaan se kartta pois.
Thanks to the information Suzanne gave me, I should be able to find the cabin on this map.
Onks tää nyt haun? Kaksi siltaa. Voisiko se olla tuossa? Tuossa sitten. Ei. Onks tää se kaupunki? Kumpi tästä on se kaupunki? Kaksi siltaa.
Doesn't really match.
Ja mun piti totakin painaa.
Probably not here.
Se on täällä jossain.
That can't be the right place. Doesn't really match. Probably not here. That can't be the right place. Doesn't really match. Probably not here. That can't be the right place. Probably not here. That can't be the right place. That doesn't really match. That can't be the right place. Probably not here. That doesn't really match. Probably not here. That doesn't really match. That can't be the right place. Probably not here. That doesn't really match. That can't be the right place. Doesn't really match. That can't be the right place. Probably not here.
Olisiko tuossa?
I've got it. The cabin has to be here. I have to find that cabin. I hope I'm not too late.
Okei. Eikä sä ostanut mitään?
Okay, here is this famous cabin. Let's investigate. Noah brought Suzanne to this dump on Valentine's Day? What a romantic. That window is too high to see through. That barrel is sturdy enough. I could climb on it.
Joo, sitä voidaan siirtää, mutta ei siirret ihan vielä.
I need to see what's inside.
Kyllä täällä ulkonakin yhdet viikset luulisi olla 2 puuttu.
There's nothing but trees in that direction. I should focus on the cabin.
Tän ulos jää sit yhdet viikset, mä oon ihan varma.
There's nothing but trees in that direction. I should focus on the cabin.
Minä siirtää sitä tynnyriä. Otetaan eka tää ovihomma tästä.
Hello? Is anyone there?
Nobody. I can't just waltz in without a warrant.
Kirvestäkin vielä tarvitaan. Kissa näkyy siellä. Tää on oikea paikka.
Empty wine bottles. Somebody has been here lately. Ugh, an old hunting trophy, starting to molt.
3892, se kannattaa muuta varmaan muistaa.
It's Daisy's plush toy. If Fluffy is here, the kidnapper has been here. I have to get inside this cabin.
Sit haetaan kirves. 3892. Ei se kirves siellä turhaa ollut.
A maul for splitting wood. Perfect for attacking doors.
Just näin. Siinä saattaa siinä lattias luukku.
The broom isn't sturdy enough to force the door.
Tämä tonkin äskeistä missasi.
Look at that. A broken door to investigate. No need for a warrant. Some people seem to have played here before.
Yksi viiksi. Täytyisi löytää no ainakin täältä sitten. Todennäköisesti 2.
The floor is scratched and worn in this area. The sofa must have been moved a lot.
En mä tätä luukkua tarkoittanut. Ei mä mennyt sinne vielä.
A lot of tools. I guess somebody noticed the cabin was about to fall down. Some boxes. I wonder what they were used for. The stove is cold. Nobody's been here recently.
Voi hitsi, kun löytyis ne yhdet viiksulit. 2 pitäis löytää vielä jostain.
A lot of tools.
Tuota numeroa me nyt tarvitaan ihan varmasti jossain, se on ihan selvä.
That's a woman's hairbrush. Did Suzanne actually come in here after all?
Yes, siellä on yhdet.
A
Yksi
gold
puuttus.
mustache. Thank you very much. It's Fluffy, no doubt about it.
Damn, it's booby-trapped.
If I move, it could go off, and that countdown tells me it wants to go off anyway.
Mitä täällä tehdään? Okei.
Since I'm telling this story to you, Mr. Poirot, you should be able to deduce I didn't blow myself up. Let's see if I can remember how I defused the bomb.
Okei, toi piti kääntää, sit piti ottaa pois. Mistä mä tiedän, että tehdään sillä lailla? Mulla ei ole nyt hajuakaan.
Since I'm telling this story, let's see if...
Muita saa arvaillakin. Tän mä otin pois. Ei väärä. Mä vieläkään oikein tiedä tätä logiikkaa.
Since I'm... Let's see...
Kannattaa varmaan aloittaa tästä. Hyvä.
Okay. So far, so good.
Wow, I wonder
Ihan
if that's
tuurilta
a
äsken, en mä tiedä
This
mitä
would
mä
have
teen.
ended my investigation right here. These rods are heading towards the canisters. It must be the trigger for the explosion. I smell a strong, sweet smell. Damn. I think these are filled to the brim with diethyl ether. Incredibly flammable. It looks like the kidnappers wanted to utterly destroy this place and whoever opened this hatch. A wooden crate? I have to open it. Oh no. Daisy. No.
I called in my discovery of the body. Then there was nothing I could do except protect the site for forensics. The forensics team arrived an hour later.
Ei hittosin jäi se yksi
Cordoned off the
viiksi vai?
cabin with crime scene tape and went to work, looking for physical evidence, fingerprints, testing for fluids, DNA, any clues science can uncover.
They removed Daisy's body. The autopsy would take place in the morning. But I had one more stop to make.
Oikein jaksosettiin uusiksikaan näitä. Kyllä se sinne jäi sinne mökkiin se toinen varmaan. Täältä mä löysin jo 2.
Oh no!
Kissaa parvekkeella.
That night, I swore to find the monster who killed that child.
Joo, se chapteri loppui siihen.
Ratchet on train saw me? How? Daisy.
She was awake?
And then she collapsed again.
I take the responsibility. She was weaker than I realized.
Oh.
Lie still while I examine you. Pupils dilated?
I'm all right.
You are far from all right. You have been heavily sedated. Your pulse is very weak.
I have to finish my story. Ratchet can't escape again. Can't escape.
Have no fear of that, mademoiselle. Ratchet will not escape.
We must hear her story.
This woman needs rest. I will let you know when she is recovered enough to continue. But I warn you, it will be some time.
I understand, Doctor. Thank you.
I have completed my preliminary examination of the deceased. I think that it will interest you.
Indeed it will. And I have other witnesses to interrogate. You are right. Let's not put this poor woman in danger. There will be plenty of time for her to finish her story when she has recovered. By all means, tell me the results of your examination. That's the right answer. Can you estimate the time of death?
Rigor mortis was advanced, but not complete. I estimate the death occurred between midnight and 2 in the morning.
That tallies with the witness statements I've collected so far. What is the cause of death?
Multiple stab wounds to the upper torso. It's odd there are no signs of a struggle. That might indicate one of the first wounds was enough to kill him.
It seems that Monsieur Ratchet had taken sleeping pills during the night.
Ah, that would explain the lack of defensive wounds.
Mr. McQueen and Mr. Masterman told me that Monsieur Ratchet didn't smoke. Can you confirm this?
I can't say without a more extensive post-mortem.
What can you tell me about the stab wounds?
I counted 12 in all. 1 or 2 are so slight as to be practically scratches. On the other hand, at least 3 would be capable of causing death. The angle of the wounds is instructive. Most appear to have been struck by a right-handed person. But you see, this one, under the right armpit, it's not a deadly blow, given the depth, but a right-hander couldn't have done it. It was most certainly struck with the left hand.
So, our murderer is left-handed. No, it is more difficult than that, is it not?
As you say, Mr. Poirot, some of these other blows are just as obviously right-handed.
Do we have a first and second murderer, as the great Shakespeare would put it? The first murderer stabs his victim and exits left, turning off the light. Then a second murderer comes in the dark, does not see his or her work has been done, and stabs a dead body.
Magnificent.
You think so? I'm glad. It sounds to me a little like nonsense. Thank you, Doctor. Excellent work under difficult circumstances. Please let me know when I may speak again with Mademoiselle Locke.
Of course.
Even a smoker might innocently turn me down. Those I've questioned could... Yes, that's certainly a good place to start. Yes, I have personally seen some passengers smoking. I just have to remember who they were. No, this is a tenuous clue at best. Yes, I suppose it's likely they will give me the list of who smokes what. That was easy.
Ei tehdä tota nyt, vaan jatketaan sitten ensi kerralla. Yksi jäi etsimättä. Yksi juttu sieltä. Tästä tuohon seivi. Ja jatketaan ensi kerralla.